It's Black Sabbath, you hear that thunder from our pipes. Hey yo, hit me and bring that back. Let me catch up with it. We love our bodies. We love our bodies. It's Black Sabbath, you feel that thunder from the pipes. No mass of the South. We always wrong. I breed apart. We on the throne. We love our bodies.
We love our bodies.
We love our bodies. It's
Black Sabbath.
You feel that thunder from the pipes. No mass of the South.
Alrighty then.
Always wrong. I breed apart.
Looks like the technology is trying to work.
We love our bodies. Comes to these bikes, they can't handle ours. We don't bop that light when it comes to those handlebars. Black Sabbath
Is the technology working?
Started in 74 on the West Coast, born in San Diego. We some riders, we ride for real. Our pipes stay loud. Now
All right, can y'all hear me?
Everywhere we take that cold ass run to the mother.
Let's see here.
Burning rubber on them Harley Davidsons. It's the Nicky chapter. Been doing for years, stay loud and proud, never been.
Alrighty then.
This is the anthem.
Alrighty then.
They can't touch us. Black Sabbath is our name, we ready to clutch up. We love our bodies.
Alrighty. So, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. There should be some of you guys over here on Black Dragon National President on I'm not supposed to be saying tonight. There should be some of you guys over here at Black Sabbath National President on the YouTube channel, and then some of you guys on my Facebook channel. I'm trying to get it to the point where everybody's on the YouTube channel, but we're working that out. We'll get you guys over there slowly but surely. Welcome to the Bat Cave. This is where all of my ideas happen, and this is my writing room. I actually write in this room, and it's got my PCs here, and all of my. You should be able to see. These guys can only see like two. There's whoa, whole bunch of monitors and stuff here that I bring up, and I create on all these different things. And so welcome to where I write books and make things come alive, and my name is John Bunch, Black Dragon. That's what they call me on the biker set, National President of the Black Sabbath Nation, and publisher of the book. Oh wow. Prospects Bible. I don't have one here. And also the book, The Motorcycle Club PRO Bible, and Prospects Bible for Women. Those books are all available on YouTube. No, on they're all available on Amazon, Amazon.com, and Kindle. And you can also go to prospectsbible.com, prospectsbibleforwomen.com, or mcprosbible.com. Also, I want you guys to know that I'm giving out free PRO training. I've had a lot of people hit me up. My classes are filling up really quickly. I can only take 100 of you. And it'll be a several week-long course. We're going to learn everything from how to deal with press releases, police reports, all these negative things that try to take the image of your club down. We're going to show you how to combat that, and how to I'm trying not to say and how to figure out how to protect and guard the reputation of the MC. So the thing is, you got to figure out how not to say when you run out of something to say, and it's a natural thing to find a space taker-upper. So you say and I don't want to say Professional speakers don't say All right, so we're talking about the vice president tonight, and some of the duties of the vice president. I'm actually trying to be a little bit more organized these days and not have stuff written on pieces of paper like it's normal for me. I like to write stuff on pieces of paper and then read them. Like I love to write on envelopes, used envelopes, because it's like pretty cool. So I also want to tell these things to be about maybe 15 minutes long. So we're going to do the best that we can to not curse, not use ums, and take not so much time. So here we go. So someone sent me a IM on Facebook asking me to talk about the vice president. And his thing was, I want to be a better vice president. So I decided to think a little bit about the position of vice president and what the position of vice president means. Now, a lot of us, when we get into the motorcycle club, we really only get a cursory knowledge of what's going on. We come into the motorcycle club with open hearts and open minds, and we're expecting the people that are there to fill us, and to fill us with good things and good ideas and good thought processes. And for many of our motorcycle clubs, that's just what we get. We get filled with good things. But other motorcycle clubs, sometimes there's agendas. Like a person may have an agenda to be the president forever, or a person may have the agenda to destroy the club, or whatever their little thing is. These agendas come into conflict as we're getting our lessons from people that really are not qualified or don't have the best of intentions to teach us. You don't know how many motorcycle clubs get in touch with me and they want to talk about their problems. And I always try not to go into detail. If you want to talk to me about a motorcycle club problem, I would prefer we talk in generalities. But people are so hurt out there that people are actually hurting. And so they often want to talk in depth about problems. And one of the first things I often say is, well, what do your bylaws say? And you will not believe how many motorcycle clubs that people don't have bylaws in. They actually don't own a copy of their bylaws. Some people have never seen their bylaws. They have no idea what the MC expects of them, what their job title is, or their job responsibilities. When you got voted in president, did someone give you a copy of your job responsibilities, or did you just pick up the helm and go? And that's the same for VPs or sergeant at arms, road captains, PROs. Does anyone truly know what their job description is? When you go get a job somewhere, they tell you what the job description is. They want you to know what they expect you to do on a daily basis. And if you don't do that, there are consequences. The motorcycle club is the same. The consequences are a little different. The consequences is you could have a pretty sucky motorcycle club, and a lot of you are going through that. I've heard people tell me, well, they make up the rules as they go, or the president does this, that, or the other. It's absolutely crazy. The reason they do this to you people is so you can't fight them when they do this BS on you. When someone walks up to you and tells you, give me your colors, you're out of this club. They don't want you to know the bylaws, that you have some rights, that you don't have to take that. There are things you can do. Whenever you're in a motorcycle club and there are no bylaws whatsoever, or you can't find none, or no one will talk about any, that's a motorcycle club that wants to keep you oppressed. They want to keep you from the truth, which is your power to enact a change. So bylaws are very important. And understanding your job duties are important. So I talked to you about the job duties of the VP. They won't be the same in every club. The concept will be the same. But, don't run into your club. Black Dragon said, these are concepts. Your club may act or do things completely different. I don't ask that everyone agree with what I say, but it's something you should think about. If you don't have any job description and you're in a position like VP, write one. Write your job description. Write what you think you should be doing. take it to the next meeting and say, I think this should be my job description right here. I'd like to have a vote on it. Now you have something that you can be held accountable for and that you can hold other people accountable for. So when they start arguing and screaming and fussing, say, oh, no, you agreed to this. And so this is what I'm doing. The biggest thing to remember about the MC vice presidents is the MC in a good motorcycle club that's run traditionally. Now, I always talk about motorcycle clubs that are run traditionally. I come from a traditional motorcycle club. By traditionally, I mean we prospect our members. You can't buy your way in. Everybody must have a motorcycle to join. And the Full Patch Brothers are the leaders of the motorcycle club. Now, there are many kinds of different variations of this. There are riding clubs, and I've seen a club, I think it was called No Dues, No Rules, something like that. And I thought, wow, that's a novel concept. But that's for some people. That's what they want. They want no dues, no rules. We just meet up and do whatever we want to do. And there are a lot of people in those clubs, so they must do well. But for me, it's always been a traditional MC, an MC that's built around the idea of family. And it's a 99% MC, such that we don't claim territory, we don't enforce on other motorcycle clubs, and we are not in anyone else's business. We are only in our business of our nation, and we only take care of our brothers and sisters and affiliated clubs that we call allies. Really simple. So that's a traditional MC. A traditional MC is run by the vote, of which the president doesn't ever get to vote unless he votes to relieve a tie. I said you're not supposed to say or so sorry about that. So these are the things that I talk about when I talk about a traditional MC. So we're going to talk about the office of the vice president. And the reason we're starting with vice president is because that's what someone asked me for. And we could have started with president, and we will get to the president, and that's probably when I will get a lot of arguments and people mad at me. But hey, I stand by the disclaimer, do what you want in your own club. So, the vice president. First of all, the vice president should have a motorcycle. Must have a motorcycle. Are you a vice president without a motorcycle? Then who do you expect to really follow your lead when you can't show your lead by riding a motorcycle? Good evening, Michelle, Melvin, Youngblood, all of you all. Good evening. Thank you for coming. So, the VP should be thought of as, like in the military, the executive officer. You have the commanding officer and you have the executive officer. And the executive officer is the liaison between the members and the command structure. The executive officer sits between that. We call him the vice president, or her. The vice president is the second, and I'm reading from my prepared statement here, the vice president is the second highest office in the MC, and as such, must work hand in hand with the president. Hand in hand with the president. Are you a VP that's against your president? I see that. I see people that are VPs that are running down their president, talking crap about him behind his back, and making life difficult for the president. You have to work hand in hand with the president if you're going to be an effective VP. An effective VP is like that corporate thing where you have the union and then you have the managers, and when the union goes on strike, the managers start working. So like the VP always backs up the MC. The VP is always on the side of the MC, which is the VP's on the side of the president. Well, what if the president's wrong? You mean, what if you think the president's wrong? You still have a duty to enforce the rules and the administration as supported by the vote. If you have a voted-in president, then you need to support that president until it's time to vote his butt up out of there. It's as simple as that. If you don't like the president, keep it to your damn self. It's not a cuss word. It's in the Bible. So it's not your job to take on the president and decide you want to remove the president and set up a coup to make that happen. Your job is to support the command structure. Now, there are things you can do if the president needs to be removed. Bring him up on charges. If you want the president's job, document like you do at work. Document. So when it's time to run for office, you can hold up your paper and say, he didn't do this, and this. I want the job. That's the correct way to do that. But the VP is the second highest office in the MC, and as such must work hand in hand with the president to accomplish the president's agenda. See, the president will have an agenda, and the MC will have an agenda. In most cases, the MC's agenda becomes the president's agenda because the president is going to be a strong political kind of person who can get things done. So a lot of times, the MC's agenda is the president's agenda. Now, a fair president says, hey, this is what I'd like to do. You guys tell me that, and then y'all vote on it, and we'll do what y'all want based on this agenda. But so many people don't have an agenda that they follow the president. So we talk about all the voting and this, that, and the other, but pretty much the president forms and shapes the MC. And the vice president is following behind that guy to make sure that that agenda gets accomplished based on the vote and the bylaws. I said again. Wasn't trying to do that. The vice president will work diligently, night and day. There's no 8 to 5 in an MC. The president will work. The VP will work diligently, night and day, and must have a sufficient amount of time to work on behalf of the club. If you don't have time, don't take the job. Being a VP of an MC requires night and day effort. It's pretty much around the clock job. The president will accept the responsibilities for the club in case the vice president will accept the responsibilities for the club as president in the case of the president's absence. And as the executive officer, that's the number 2 person in the club, it is the VP's responsibility to oversee the day-to-day operations and internal running of the club. We're going to get into that right now, in just a second. He will always have an in-depth knowledge of the details of every officer's position, reports, and status, level of training, club events, runs, activities, finances, and club business. The VP will act as the consultant for fines set by the sergeant at arms and or the road captain. The VP will ensure all junior officers are trained to perform their duties and will report that status to the president. The VP will act as the project manager and oversee all sanctioned projects to completeness and report their status to the president or discrepancies as to why things aren't done. The VP will ensure the president's agenda is communicated to the officers and members and will check to see their progress in accomplishing all tasks. The VP will ensure recruitment goals are being met by the MC and all members. The VP will query the president. Will query sponsors. The VP will query the prospect sponsors. You know, most MCs have a bunch of prospects. Each prospect will have a sponsor. The VP will query those sponsors for weekly progress and reports of the prospect's progress and keep the president informed of the progress of all of these prospects. The VP will ensure that the secretary keeps good correspondence and liaison with other area clubs. that the MC maintains a strong relationship with and a high profile among. That's the VP. So what does all that mean? It's kind of cool, so let's talk about it. The VP, as executive officer of the club, it is the VP's responsibility to oversee the day-to-day operations, internal running of the club. So here you go, in a nutshell. The president is busy moving the club's agenda along. The president is interfacing with the public. The president's talking to other motorcycle clubs. The president's making sure that things are happening. The president is setting up things to happen, projects, the feed the homeless, whatever you're doing. So the club takes a vote and says, we want to do this for the year. And the president sets it up and says, okay, let's do it. And then he puts his team on it. And the leader of that team is the VP. At that point, press steps out the way and VP steps in. Day-to-day operations. What are we doing daily, weekly, monthly to get the goals that we've established done? We got the annual coming up at the end of the year, so we got a committee that's going to run that. Who's going to be in the committee? And who does the committee report to? They report to the VP. Who does the VP report to? The VP reports to the president. The VP is tracking down discrepancies. Why is this not happening? What do we need to make that happen? And as he finds that out, he goes to the president. These are the problems we're having. The president either fixes the problem or calls another vote. It's the problem we have. We get a new vote, we got a new standard to uphold, and we move forward. And the VP's pressing that agenda. The VP is making sure that officers are getting trained. You look and you got a weak road captain. Who's going to train him? The VP is going to make sure that he gets trained. It's the VP's job. The VP is going to make sure that junior officers are trained. How do they get better at what they do? The VP should have plenty of training in this. So, somebody says, where were you? Oh Lord, where were you when I was prospecting? I was probably prospecting then too. So, what else? We're talking about this VP guy. I said again, I'm sorry. So, day-to-day operations. Are we going to go to the such and such bike night? VP is talking to the road captain. Road captain, where are we going to go? What time are we going to get there? What time is kickstands up? He communicates that back to the president. Who's going to be there? What fines are going to be levied if you're not? This is all communicated back. The sergeant at arms gets mad at somebody, wants to give somebody a fine, consults with the VP. The VP goes to the bylaws with the sergeant at arms. Well, I think we can fine him. So there's a two-step check in everything that's going on, led by the executive officer. The executive officer is the bad guy or gal. If you're a women's MC, the executive officer is the bad guy. He's the one where all the discipline comes from. The president is always the good guy. But the VP did that to you, really? The president knew the whole time. But the VP is the one that handles it. VP is going to handle the discipline. We got to take somebody, write them up, take them to committee. The VP is going to oversee that. The VP is going to make sure you're assigned a committee of your peers, that you get to bring your witnesses, you get to bring your evidence. The VP is going to make sure that that happens. That's the VP's job. The president comes and sits there. The VP is the officiator. The sergeant at arms runs the meeting. We'll talk about that. But the VP is the one that presents everything and makes everything happen. And the president sits there and ensures that everything is run right. But he does that through his VP. The VP will therefore have an in-depth knowledge of the details of every officer's report. An officer's report, and in traditional MCs, officers make reports. Like there's a financial report every meeting, so people don't know where the money's going. In a traditional MC, everybody knows where the money is at all times. You haven't had a financial report in one of your meetings? What y'all running over there? I'm just saying, I'm just saying. So the VP is responsible for the day-to-day operations, the in-depth knowledge of what's going on. Every officer status report. Road captain. Does everybody have an up-to-date license to ride these bikes? Has anybody's license been taken? Does somebody not have the ability to carry a weapon? We don't want them riding in the pack with a gun with us, and if they're not able to carry one legally, so now we get pulled over and everybody's got trouble because one guy's not right. Let's take his gun and put it on somebody else's bike, and then if he needs it, we'll hand it to him. You know, stuff like that. It happens. The VP's job is to make sure that that road captain is on his job. It's not the president's job. The president's jumping in the road captain's butt. The president can't handle the presidential stuff we'll talk about when we talk about the presidents. The VP is looking at the road captain. The VP is looking at the business manager if you have a club with that. The VP is looking at the secretary. The VP is looking at the PRO if you have one of those. Why do new chapters in different states make their own rules instead of consistently following? Who said that? Oh. That does... Uh-oh. What just happened? Did I get rid of it? Live broadcast paused. Resume. Okay, so we're back. I don't. Whoever that is, we'll talk. I'll talk to you about that one. So that sounds like an interclub thing, and I don't really get into interclub things. So if that's what's going on, then that needs to be taken up at a different spot. We don't talk about inside club business. What else? The I think I said this. The VP will also take care of the training. When I say take care, will ensure that the training is happening. Will ensure that people are getting their training or finding places for people to get training. You see a prospect that's not riding well. The VP goes to the road captain and says, "Road captain, we're looking at this prospect that's not riding well. Let's figure up some training to get that prospect up to standard." So the VP then goes and reports this to the president. We got this, and this happening in the MC. This is how we're moving. We talk about recruitment goals. Every MC should have recruitment goals. I see MCs say, we don't recruit. If you don't recruit, you die. That's the bottom line. I saw it happen in the Black Sabbath. So you do recruit some kind of way. At least most of us do. And if there are recruitment goals, then the VP is the one to ensure that they're happening. The VP is looking at the junior officers and developing them. You develop people by teaching them how to lead properly, giving them instructions and looking over their shoulder when they are doing things, assessing fines and things like that. I find myself, and a thing that you always want to remember as an officer is you want to praise people in public and you want to discipline them in private so that they are not seen by everybody while the president is jumping in their behinds. That's hard to do, especially when you're a VP and you like to cuss folks out. You want to jump in people, you want to make a scene. It's very difficult to get that respect level from people who say, the VP jumped in my butt, however, he loves me. Because you did it somewhere in private. But in public, praise, praise, praise. Outstanding job. You guys did wonderful. I'm so proud of you all. That goes a long way in training people and getting them up to a level. I had an argument with one of my members last night. It was absolutely terrible. And whenever that happens, you have to see, like a lot of stuff I preach about, some of the stuff I don't always do. So you have to reach inside yourself and say, gee, I was wrong And you got to go and you got to say, listen, this is not the way that we're supposed to be talking to each other. We're brothers. And I don't get to talk to you crazy because I have some kind of patch on. It might be different if I was paying some salaries. Then I might talk as crazy as I want to talk. But these people follow us because they love us. And they respect us. Not because they have to. So a VP will be trying to get that love and respect rather than trying to intimidate and create fear, because that only creates hatred. The VP will act as project manager and oversee all sanctioned projects to completeness. So what is a project manager? A project manager is a person who manages the project. Calling up folks, checking up on folks. That's the person that does the due diligence, what we call follow through. A lot of projects get dropped because there's no follow through. Oh, we want to create a book of all of the great accomplishments of the MC that we've done. We want to put all the names in it, and we want to make sure everybody gets a recognition plaque. And what happened to that project? It died. There was no project manager that said, business manager, did you get the trophies? Committee member, did you do this? Did you do that? That is the VP, and the VP will have a big old running list of all the projects in a checkbox and mark those projects off as they get done. Then he can go back to the president and say, hey, everything got done. Also, the VP will report the discrepancies. Why can't these things be done that we said we wanted to do? We talked about recruitment goals. And the VP will look. Have you ever noticed how one prospect will know everything about the club and another prospect will know absolutely zero? Is that the prospect's fault? Or is that the club's fault? That's the MC's fault. That's the sponsor's fault. There should be some body of knowledge that everyone is expected to know. There's a level. And then you could be higher than that level, but you won't be lower than that level. So MCs don't commonly task their sponsors to ensure there's a certain level of education had by all the prospects. The VP's job is to make sure that happens. The VP is querying those sponsors. What did you teach our guy this week? VP might even make a list. This week we're going to make sure that all of our prospects know how to ride in the pack. This week we're going to make sure that all our prospects know the history of the MC. This week we're going to make sure that all of our prospects know every original founding member's name, what they did for a living, and where they came from. This week we're going to make sure that the prospect knows how we stand on violence to women, or how we stand on treating the properties or the auxiliaries or the goddesses of our MC. This week, we're going to know how we act on the set. What do we do if there's trouble? What do we do if somebody gets shot? How do we get out of here in case of a problem? How should this prospect address a president or something? Or all these bodies of knowledge, these little pins of knowledge that each prospect should be getting. And some of your sponsors are just like incredible at that. And some might not be. But it is the MC's responsibility to make sure that everybody has the correct level of knowledge. You can't go back to a prospect and say, well, you didn't know that, man. You didn't know that? Because it's your job to make sure they know it. And I have so many prospects and people that have been members forever and they didn't even know that they had bylaws. It's the club's fault. It's ridiculous. Finally, the VP will ensure that the secretary keeps good correspondence and liaison with other area clubs and maintains a strong and high-profile status among those local chapters. In some clubs, that job has gone and become part of the PRO's job. But in a traditional MC, it's the secretary's job to liaison with all the clubs in the area. And that's what our clubs don't do today. They don't liaison. They send a text. We used to send mail, and the secretary would read it in every meeting. And we would get letters and notes from motorcycle clubs. Hey, how you guys doing down there in San Diego? We're up here in LA. Haven't talked to y'all in a while. Love you. Can't wait till we see you and have dinner with you again. We're going to be cooking out on such and such day. Come up. It ain't going to cost you a thing. Just ride them 2 hours up to LA and come hang out with us. We are the brothers of the sun, and we just love you. Don't see that much anymore. But if the vice president is on the secretary or the PRO, ensuring that we liaison. Liaison is not, are you coming to my annual? Liaison is, how are you doing, brother? When are we going to ride together again? When was the last time you called an MC up and said, let's go for a ride? Both of our MCs. We're going up into the mountains and we're going to bend some curves. We're going to have some dinner. And then we're going to come back home. We're going to be riding all darn day. When was the last time you did it? But you sure want to get over to that annual. All right. So that's what I have to say about the VP. Are there any questions? Trying to check this thing for questions. Well, this thing has just gone on and on. What book is this from? Oh, this is going to be from the Motorcycle Club Bible, How to Be the Best Member You Can Be. That book is not written yet. You'll find some of this in Prospects Bible, but not much. I'm still working on the Motorcycle Club Bible, and I'm hoping that'll be out in like 2 months. Any other questions? I'm looking. Okay, I think that's it. So we ask that you guys have a good time out there. And we ask that you love your brothers and sisters more than you love yourself. We ask that you stop saying I, and start saying we. We ask that you, what's up, Seven? We ask that you put as much love and care and concern in treating each other like solid pieces of gold. Because like you don't treat your gold bad. You treat your gold good. You polish it up and you put it in a position of high respect. You put it in a place where it can be seen. You adore it. You want everybody to see your gold. You try to put gold everywhere. Treat your members like you treat your gold. And when you treat your members like you treat your gold, then you'll have an MC that operates like solid gold. Okay. Please look at my books. Motorcycle Club Bible, motorcycleclubbible.com, the PRO's Bible, mcprosbible.com, and the not Motorcycle Club Bible, that's coming, I'm sorry, Prospects Bible, prospectsbible.com, PRO's Bible, mcprosbible.com, and Prospects Bible for Women at prospectsbiblefromwomen.com. What's up, Mr. Polk? It's good to see you. Also, it's going to be, I think, on Thursday nights, I believe it's going to be. Either Tuesday nights or Thursday nights will be my PRO's training. It's going to go on for several weeks, and we're going to talk about everything that PROs do and can do in terms of reputation management for the club. So hit me up with a PM. I can only take 100 members, and the class is almost full. So hit me up with a PM and let me know if you want to be in the class so I can let you know when it is. It's probably going to, first one's probably going to be this week, maybe Thursday. I'm working on getting all the stuff together. If you complete that class, you will get a certification, a public relations officer certification. And the class is completely free. Alrighty then. Tune in to me at Black Dragon National President on YouTube, and we will do some more of this. If you have questions, if you want me to cover something, what's up, big dog? I tell you what, give me a call right after this, and we'll talk. You'll be in Atlanta Thursday? Okay, Mr. Polk, we're getting together this time. I will see you this Thursday night. I'm here in Atlanta. I'm not traveling. So I hope you're going to be here hope we'll be able to get together somewhere. What class is available for free? The Public Relations Officers, PROs class. I'm holding a PROs class to promote my book, but you don't have to buy my book. The class is completely free, and we're going to go over all things reputation management for a motorcycle club, just like you would get for if you were going to be a public relations officer for any company. And that's what I designed the PROs book for. I designed the PROs book to help you manage the reputation of your MC. So, we got the Nomad Reef from the Chosen Few. It's good to see you, brother. I would figure you'd be out riding. I can't even imagine you not on a motorcycle somewhere. Is it online? I'm here in Cali. Is it online? Actually, yes. The course is going to be by phone. We're gonna you're gonna actually call in and tune in, and it's gonna be over a phone. And once I get your numbers and everything, the phone will automatically dial out. I have Mark Starr to thank for that. If you guys aren't listening to Mark Starr, he's the most incredible public speaker in this country. You got to listen to the Mark Starr broadcast, and I will put it out for you. Can you do a class in California? I can. I expect to be traveling to California soon. What else? So this class will be like Thursday nights, I think, either Tuesday or Thursday nights, and it'll be for like 30 to 45 minutes, and we're just going to hit one point after another. So when you get through with this class, you'll know how to write a press release. You'll know how to hold a press conference. You'll know how to write pitch letters. You'll know how to write sponsorship letters. You'll know how to manage, you'll know how to manage crises. We have a crises management portion. So if one of your members gets in trouble or shootout or whatever, and you got the press standing around you trying to turn you into some sort of renegade motorcycle club, we'll show you how to fight that and how to actually win that story and make the press story your story, not the story they want it to be. You should do a motorcycle podcast. I don't know how to do a podcast yet, but I'm gonna learn, and I am gonna do a motorcycle podcast. If you know anything about that, please PM me so that I can get my technology up. It's been tough enough getting these two things working. All right. Anything else? The questions are coming fast and furious, so it's kind of interesting to have you folks on and listening. I'm just really excited. I just figured I was an old man ranting, but folks want to hear a little bit about me, what I'm saying, so that's really cool. What is the YouTube link? Black Dragon National President is the YouTube link. Black Dragon National President. It's on my Facebook page. 43 minutes. Wow, this was supposed to be 15 to 20 minutes. Trying to get this thing together. Must brush up on your MTS skills. So that person who wrote that knew me in the Navy when I was a master training specialist, and I used to do this for a living, and I didn't say back then, ever. So yes, yes, Vernon, I must brush up on my master training specialist skills. Any other questions? I'm excited also. This is very educational, coming from an SC. I have a book coming out for social clubs. I just don't have time to write it. I'm trying to get it done. And you guys are going to find it very exciting and impactful. I hope. Where do you go to improve your writing skills? I like this. Big Dog said, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. Big Dog always says that. And he's absolutely right. I'm trying to improve right now. I'm trying to stop cursing, trying to stop saying and I'm trying to get my presentation skills up. If this is what I'm going to be doing, I want to be the very best at it. so that you folks can get the information and not be detracted by ums and ahs and stuff. The question about where do you go to get good motorcycle training, first of all, if you've never been to a motorcycle course, I don't care how long you've been riding, you will learn something amazing in a motorcycle course. There are many good ones out there, and if you've never been to one, you might learn something like counter steering. Counter steering is the thing that kills most people because they don't know how to do it or what it even is. And if you do your counter steering, and the greatest place to learn counter steering is in a motorcycle course, it'll save your life. Once you've gone to a motorcycle course, then you should get a book. Oh my goodness, where's my book? And it's one of the greatest motorcycle training books in the country. And I will, when I do my motorcycle training safety course, I'll break that book out. I'll make that a course. And once you get that book, it's got a DVD in it, and it gives you practicing. It gives you things to practice, like something I've always practiced. A lot of people tell me I can ride my Gold Wing like a race bike. One of the things I've always practiced is my cone work and getting the motorcycle around without duck walking and all those kinds of things. That makes you very strong as an overall rider. So we'll talk about that. Since that's come up, we'll talk about that in another video. All right, I'm going to cap this at 46 minutes, which is way too long to be talking. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for tuning in. This is one of the biggest numbers I've had, so this is starting to catch on. We will talk some more. We will do more. Always remember to treat everybody in your motorcycle club like you would like to be treated. Love one another. Actually try to love someone. And if you keep getting the same thing over and over and over from different people, then maybe it's you. And we can all look at ourselves and say, as Big Dog, national president and founder of the Front Runners MC says, the biggest room is the room for improvement, personal improvement, making ourselves better yesterday than we were, better today than we were yesterday. And my commanding officer used to say, we all deserve the right to get smarter later. Thank you all for tuning in, and get skinny.